Episode 4 of the Friction Podcast. Your favorite triplets.
This is 4?
Episode 4. Yeah, you missed 3.
Oh, yeah, I did. It feels like we've had more episodes, but go ahead.
Right, we put a lot of work into this.
Yes.
Welcome back to the Friction Podcast, Episode 4. I am your host, Mr. Deron Flood, and to my right...
I'm Will, like your phone bill.
And I am Zaya, like fire, your resident rebel with a cause.
Okay. I like that.
We got a whole lot to talk about today. I'm really excited. But before we get into the topic, you know what time it is. What rub you the wrong way?
A lot.
Zaya, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start, and then I'll go last.
Oh God, Skip.
Well, I'll take the honor and go ahead. So a lot of stuff rubbed me the wrong way this week. I'll talk about the obvious stuff.
I got mine.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I went to New York this past weekend, all right? And I went to a festival that was supposed to be a festival celebrating colors and liveliness, and there was a very popular soca artist there, and I felt like all the people in New York were acting really, really stushy, first of all. Like, there was no jumping around. There was no getting excited. I just felt like everybody cared about how they looked and not so much that it was a festival for having a good time. So that rubbed me the wrong way. There you go.
I mean, they are New Yorkers. I think.
Whatever.
You know, image is big with them. They bougie.
Yeah, I think.
Come on. We've been in quarantine. So, like, I would think that... it rubbed me the wrong way.
I understand. When you go to certain events, you don't want to go to a rave and see people, the white folks just sitting around and not jumping. I'll be upset. I'll be disappointed because when I go to a rave, I want to see people doing drugs, all that stuff. That's what the other people. But I expect to see that. So when you go to a festival, you expect to see people having a good time.
Was it a Caribbean artist?
Yes.
And no...
They did, but it was like...
I
don't know if it was the edible or if it was just the people. I mean, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, we weren't... soca is energy music, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, it's all about jumping around and representing and waving your flag and sing. So I'm like, what's going on? It felt very stushy.
Was it? You said you don't know if it's the edible. Was it? Are you referring to yourself?
Me.
Okay.
I had edible.
Maybe things were slower for you.
No, it
because
wasn't.
Of edible.
Whatever.
Okay, well, I mean, I can understand why that would rub you wrong. You expected a certain experience, and you didn't get all of that. That would rub you the wrong way.
Travel all the way up there.
Yeah.
Ouch.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm sure this rubbed all of us the
just
wrong
one
way.
We just want one.
Just one? Okay, I'll give one. So I would say the obvious thing in the media right now, what is her name? Sha Carri?
Yeah.
It rubbed me the wrong way that this has become a black and white thing. One, I'm in the military. Everybody know that. We have rules. I chose to be part of that organization, the Navy. It says that we clearly can't do drugs, including weed.
Weed is a herb. It's not a drug.
Okay, not according to
here we go.
Not according to their regulation, but that's a whole different story. The part about it is that if you're part of an organization, you follow the rules. Simple. If you chose to not follow our rules, you deal with the consequences. You can't go ahead and say, I was mourning, my mom had just passed away. I don't want to get into that side. Go seek a therapist and don't rely on weed for that. But that's something completely different. They're not making it into a black thing. Oh, she's, it's because she's black, and they're making weed illegal in the organization so that they can stop us from doing, getting into the Olympics or those leagues and stuff like that. I don't think it's that. It's black folks not following the rules. Period. It's simple stuff. But it rubbed me the wrong way. Every time I looked on social media, I saw things. I actually had to mute her name and the Olympics from my Twitter feed because I was tired of saying it, and I started arguing back and forth with people. Follow the rules. Yeah, we understand you. They don't want us to be great, period. They don't want us to be great. Why put yourself in a situation that will harm you? If a cop pulled me over right now, I know that we get shot easily. You think I want to get out of my car and say, oh, sir, I have a permit to this gun, but I'm going to walk towards you with this gun towards a cop? No. The chances of me getting shot is even higher if I have that gun waving around. Same as her. You're not supposed to do drugs. And so when you do it and you admit that you knew that you weren't supposed to do it, you can't complain. follow the rules or get out
She
of the
was
organization.
complaining. She wasn't complaining.
Well, the rest of
No,
the
she
the
didn't
rest of-
complain.
The rest of America is.
Okay.
Right. So I actually am going to piggyback off of your. It rubbed me the wrong way too. As you know, I am a part of the community. I know several Olympians. I know coaches. I am as embedded into the track and field community as any one person that's in track. There's a few things that are wrong with what's going on, and I actually, for once, I support what you're saying about stuff rubbing you the wrong way. People said that her mother passing was a catalyst for her to smoke weed.
No, I think she was probably just
Doing it
smoking
before.
weed.
Right. So the circles are saying that she's been smoking since she was a kid.
Basically.
Wow.
Yeah, like I won't get into that. So with that, when athletes are preferred athletes, but I mean, this is not unbelievable, but the rules are bent a lot of times. There's some very, very strict guidelines that you have to abide by, but rumor has it they warned her several times before they said, yo, are you just gonna not listen to the warnings? And so, like, I struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? How many times are they going to be like, look, all right, enough is enough. You need to stop. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're a big draw to the community. You're a big draw to track and field. People are tuning in just to literally watch you run. Nobody else. She's a big draw for the sport. But, like, nobody is above the sport. You know what I'm saying? There will be another one of her. And I love everything about her. I love the imagery. I love the colors. I love the bravado. Reminds me of myself when I was running. You know what I'm saying? But there's some things that I just really, really struggle with. The second thing that rubs me the wrong way about her is there's been a series of homophobic tweets.
You know what? I literally just put up my tweets for that because I was gonna say that also rubbed me the wrong. But go ahead. I just
right.
put it up over here.
So yeah, and it's aimed specifically at black males too.
And she's a lesbian. I'm just throw that part in there.
Right. So, like, I call black people who are anti-black coons. Is there a word for a queer person who hates other queers?
You know what? As a queer man, I don't even know if there's one. No, I don't. I don't know. And it's really sad that it was aimed at black men. But I'll say this though. This might be a slightly off topic. Black lesbians and black gay men are completely separated. We do not support each other. So I was struggling with that part yesterday. I was talking to my partner, and even though she said those things, we weren't even focused on it as much because we know in our culture, the gay side, we don't support the lesbians. We don't deal with the lesbian. I have one lesbian friend couple that I deal with. That's it, the closest I have. We don't deal with them. They don't deal with us. They have their own thing going on, and we have our own thing. We really don't support each other. So it's not even a big thing for the gays, to be honest.
So I struggle with that genuinely because I'm a pro-black person. And
You
for
are.
me personally, as long as you black, you qualify. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand the semantics behind there's a subset community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's even hating inside the subset community. Make it make sense.
I mean, even as with black folks, period. I would say this: when we deal with colorism, we as black period, we support each other. When you come down inside of our community, there's the light skin, there's the dark skin, there's the Africans, there's
Mixed
African
race.
Americans. Yeah, mixed race.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. So all of that it's the same with the gay side. So if somebody was to hurt a female who is lesbian, we'll all stand up for her. But when it comes to when we actually break things down, you stay on your side of the spectrum. We stay on our side. You do your thing on that side. I won't support you. I won't come to your events. I won't deal with you, and you don't deal with me. And that's common. Now we don't go around. The black gay man isn't going around sending tweets like that. But we really, I was looking on social media. It was crazy because that was not even a main thing that was going on for her. People were not even focused on that at all. And this came out after she did a good job at the trials.
Right.
And those tweets came out, and people weren't even focused on that. They didn't cancel her because of that. They didn't care about it like that. And that's that shows a lot.
So I'm confused. I'm a little bit lost on the tweets. What did she say something?
So this is what she said. I'm gonna go ahead and read this real quick. So she said, if you support Lil Nas X, you can unfollow me. And then she said, if you're an N-word and you wear pink, die in a pit because you're gay as fuck.
Oh.
So basically, if you're a black man that wears pink,
you're gay as fuck. You should die in a pit.
She said that.
Yes.
Damn.
As recent as March 29th of this year. So there are more tweets out there, but it said it was years ago. She was younger, but this is as recent as this year. So,
right.
But I will be honest, that wasn't even a major concern for even the gays who support her or who don't support her. We weren't even looking at that. We were just saying, for me, I was saying, listen here, you broke the rules. There are other girls out there who have bad color hair and long nails and eyelashes that look like windshield wipers that we're gonna go ahead and support.
He said bad color.
In the Olympics. So, girl, get out of the way. You're a good sis, but you fucked up, and we'll go ahead and move on from you. And that's it. That rubbed me the wrong way. We can move on from that.
All right, so I want to introduce. He's going to be the phantom host while we're doing this whole thing. Our cameraman, our editor. Just another media company, Kadeem.
He's been waiting for his moment.
Yeah, man. So look,
I wasn't waiting for no moment.
Look, man. Welcome to the Friction Podcast, brother.
What up?
So we want to know what rubbed you the wrong way.
I didn't even think y'all was gonna ask.
We're asking.
Anybody cared?
We care.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't prepared.
Good.
Usually I'm always the first one here, but that's always gonna be the case. So I can't say that you guys are never on time.
Okay.
You're usually on time though.
Yes, thank you.
Zaya's usually the first one here. So,
That would be me.
but nah, y'all cook up. I'm here to help the Phantom host.
Okay, that's good. That's
Listen,
Thank
man,
you.
but we
We
still
appreciate
want to know what rubs you the wrong way. You have to
He said
participate.
lateness.
Oh, is it the
okay.
tardiness?
Oh, I hate tardiness.
Okay,
Oh,
so
damn.
that rubbed you. Us being like-
Always.
You could have told me that the first episode.
I've been
'cause
saying
I
it.
would've done
Haven't I
better.
been saying it?
You have.
Yes.
I actually waited. I'm usually so on
He
time. I
actually
can't
always
be late
thanks
on
me
purpose.
for being on time.
Yes,
Oh,
I
man.
hate
Right.
it.
I'll do better. I'll do better.
I don't believe you, but okay.
And I don't
believe
in the
any of
military
it.
too, so I should be on time. I'll do
Military
better.
people are only on time for work.
You're right.
Right.
You're right. You're right.
Right.
Which is actually most people, because most black people will get up at 5 a.m. to go work for whoever the fuck. But if it's getting up for yourself,
Ooh.
anyway. But that's
Pow, right in the kisser.
You're right.
Pow, right in the kisser.
Okay.
So look, man. Oh shit. Subscribe.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Share.
Yeah, man.
Y'all doing a good
Share,
job
Hit the
at-
bell.
Comment.
226 already.
All of this, man. This is episode 4. We got some good momentum going on, man. We really appreciate you guys. Keep sharing, keep talking about us, man. We're growing, and I'm very proud of that. How you guys feel about the growth so far?
I feel good about it. You know what? I'm going to start. I see you guys' comments.
Baby going at you too, bro.
I see the comments. I'll make sure I start responding to the comments. It's a pretty vicious word out there, but I appreciate the feedback. And I'll make sure I do my thing by start responding to the comments, because I have more to say, and I'll say that in the comments. What about you? What you think?
I think it's great. I think we're doing great. I think we're all collectively doing amazing.
Thank you.
Look, don't be on your phony shit.
is
Because we got a sensitive topic today. You being real, huh? We on your ass today, baby. Yes, ma'am.
Whatever.
All right. So the topic for today is love, big ass question mark, interracial dating.
Interracial dating.
How y'all feel about the topic?
I feel great about it. I feel really good about it. I think it's a great topic. It's a topic that's current, that's now, that we need to discuss.
I think it's the time to talk about it, especially on the Friction Podcast.
Ooh,
About that time.
So we're gonna be
I feel
rubbing.
like my mic is low. What's up? Y'all turn my mic down? Like
No.
on purpose?
Yeah, look, hey,
no, you probably sound good. He can't see the.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I think you're doing good. Go ahead. What you think about the topic?
I just feel like I can hear y'all better.
Honestly, the speakers probably, and people with like a little more basic carry more.
Okay.
You're good.
Well, go ahead. Start off.
And I'm
Start
actually
off.
talking on the mic now.
Okay.
This is like the first time I've ever been like, So
Okay, well, I'm trying to do better because I know I be loud and I be,
obnoxious
no,
and
loud.
light skin.
Whatever.
I think that's appropriate for this topic. I can talk
It
about light
is.
skin.
It really is.
We.
I mean, I feel like I can talk about light skin any topic.
All right, so we're going to start with the very most cliche talked about thing when it comes to interracial dating, especially amongst our community. Can you be pro-black and date a white person? I am going to answer first, and then we're going to run down, and then we're going to explain why. Absolutely not. You cannot be pro-black and date a white person.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. What is okay?
I need you to answer.
Yes. So my answer is yes. You can be pro-black and date a white person. I'll come back to you.
I think it's not possible. I don't think that you can really be pro-black and date a white person. I think you can associate,
Right.
Okay.
but I don't know about dating.
So I say that because, like, when you talk about pro, what are you pro? What are you proficient? Are you a professional? Because you damn sure aren't procreating black people. You're procreating a biracial person.
So are you saying a biracial person isn't a black person?
No.
See, I have a problem with that. But go ahead.
And I'm going to tell you why a biracial person isn't black. There's a thing called the Jim Crow laws, right? And the Jim Crow laws said if you have one drop of black in you, that you're automatically black. Mm-hmm. I think that I am not in the minority when I say that most all black people, oh, no, I won't even say most. All black people hate Jim Crow laws, right? So why would we subscribe to a lexicon that involves Jim Crow's laws? You can be a biracial person, and that's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. How dare black people say that you have to be one or the other? Literally, the white person, the white man said that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Are we going to subscribe to that, even though we're trying to defeat white supremacy? Excuse me. Are you going to tell the biracial person that they can't be just as proud of their white side as their black side?
I mean, yes, you. So this is how I see it. I believe in a one drop rule. Ooh, I do.
Wait, give me something.
No, I really do. I mean,
You're not supposed to drop a bomb for that.
I don't know.
Let me say this though, because maybe not you, but y'all had your celebration going on when Barack Obama was supposed to be the first black president. Nobody said he was the first.
First of all, did you say y'all?
Yes,
He did say that.
When I say y'all, I mean black folks.
You people.
Well, I was going to say that, but I don't want to get too up in the comments. But no, people were we didn't look at it as, oh, this is the first biracial president. We looked as this is the first black president. And it was the same one drop rule. Going back to the topic, though, the conversation, though, I feel like you can support me not procreating with a black person. Does that mean that I don't want blacks to succeed, which is what I see as being pro-black? I want blacks to succeed. I want blacks to do great. I want my friends and family, I want to do amazing. I want it to be at the highest level possible. But who I love just because I love a white person, I want to marry a white person, does not mean that I don't support my other black people. That's what I see as pro-black, making sure that blacks are at the highest they can be.
How do you define pro-black? Because that's interesting. That's interesting that you would say that.
Right. So for me, pro-black is prioritizing blackness.
Okay.
You're not prioritizing blackness if you choose to marry. So here's the thing about marriage. Marriage is the single most important decision that you would make politically, socially, economically, and all of these other things. If you're a black person, and let's just say you're a rich black person, you're now funneling resources into the white community. Literally.
Yeah, so pro is a prefix for prioritizing, or priority, or progression.
Right. So how are you progressing blackness by introducing whiteness to? Help me?
Can I say this though? So you said something about procreating. Let me get back to that real quick. So what a gay couple, if they have they'll be doing the same thing as an interracial couple. But they're not producing kids if they decide not to have kids. Or people who can have kids or decide not to have kids. That's procreation is not including that pro-blackness that you was trying to
Sir,
move on.
we just had a whole episode 1 where 2 black people,
I
4
understand.
black people got together and had a child.
And had a child. But I'm saying, so people who can't have kids, then are they not pushing this black agenda, black pro-blackness out there? Is that what you're saying? Because the interracial couple, the only thing they're not doing, if I'm a black man and I'm supporting everything black and being and want to push blacks out there and make sure blacks are successful, everything like that, and I chose to have a mixed kid, a biracial kid, the only thing I'm not doing is having a black kid, according to you. So now a couple that can't have kids are doing the same exact thing, very pro-black. They can't have kids.
Well,
is that
if they can't have kids, then they can't have kids.
I understand.
But people who can have kids
and chose to not.
Yeah, they choose not to. Like the cornerstone of a black nation is black families. Do you understand that? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's no other way.
What about Jordan Peele? Is he not pro-black?
No.
Who
The director.
The director?
That everything he does is super black. All his films are super black.
For sure.
But he's married to a white woman.
He's not pro-black.
Okay.
But he's hiring black actors and actresses.
That's what I was saying. But
like,
he's prioritizing black things.
Yes.
So I just, as a devil's advocate off camera.
I love the idea of, I mean, we can go to Malcolm X and we could talk about how he's a biracial person and he came from.
How is Malcolm X biracial? Because his mom was biracial?
Yeah.
Does that make him biracial because his mom was biracial?
Well, you know what? You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
I don't think I have ever heard Flood say that to
right.
me. Oh my God.
Cut it out. So we want to know what you think about Zaya, the pro-black. Can you date somebody as a black person and be pro-black?
Based on your definition of prioritizing blackness and black issues and things of that nature, no, I don't think so.
But his definition of
meaning prioritizing.
There are interracial couples
Yeah.
who are doing those things. The only thing that his definition that they might lack, according to his definition, is the idea of having more kids to, I guess.
No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying that's one aspect of it.
Right.
That is the only aspect. I feel like that's the only aspect.
Prioritizing blackness, having children is not one.
So
having black children
what
is not
exactly-
one aspect
what exactly-
of prioritizing blackness.
What exactly are you prioritizing that if I'm with a white woman or a white man that I can't do? Like I can date a white man and he can understand.
No, he can't. Keep going.
Well,
Especially a white man.
hypothetically,
What's wrong with you, man?
you know, Watu
I was
told me he's
agreeing
dating
with William until he just said what he said. I was because that's why I use Jordan Peele, because I do think he prioritizes black things.
You can do.
And hold on, time out.
Go ahead.
I know I'm off camera. I'm taking. Y'all don't subscribe to You Are What Your Daddy Is? There's the one drop, and then everybody says You Are What Your Father Is.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. I'm devil's advocate.
No. You are what both of your parents are because you should have black parents. Huh?
I really am.
Do you consider yourself pro-black?
Yes.
Okay. And
word.
why do you consider yourself pro-black?
I want y'all to talk in the comments. Seriously. If y'all think that this man is pro-black, seriously, is the camera turned to me? Turn the camera to me.
This guy's going off.
William said that he's pro-black. I want to know what you guys think about it in the comments, please.
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 Well, I'll say this.
Yes.
I'll say this, and this might be slightly off, but a white person can be pro-black. That's how I feel. Do you?
You're losing me now, bro. I was with you.
A white person, if I'm dating somebody,
But
let me
Bill,
say,
I'm asking you.
do I consider
you pro-black?
I am pro-black.
What makes you pro-black?
I stand up for black folks. I want blacks to win. That's when I think about pro-blackness. I want blacks to always win.
Okay.
You want to know how you can make them win?
Why? What?
Making sure that we multiply.
And that is the only. Again, we're back to procreation. That is the only thing that will separate me, my opinion or my views on it from yours. You think the only way I can be pro-black, one of the last thing that
It's the most important.
to check
Yes,
that is to
for
make
sure
sure I'm having black kids.
It's the most important.
to continue his legacy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing all of the other things like a Jordan Peele, your diet pro-black.
What if I won?
Did you say your diet?
Yeah, your diet pro-black.
What if deep down, and this is gonna sound bad. What if deep down, I won a biracial kid?
But I already know that for you, though. You're an African man, and African people love white people. And so what happens is...
Wait. Let's get into that real quick. Because you you know what? I'm glad. Yes. So African men
training is only for
tend
Africans.
to want to
you
be
may
with
not bring your white wife.
Caucasian women or white
You
women.
may not
Let me
bring
explain
your
it. So
white
when you're back in
You may
Africa,
not bring
what
your
we're
white
taught in Africa is that God, and we're very. And most African countries are very religious. Yeah. Christians. God is white and the images we see is a white man. Or Jesus, a white man. So when you're in Africa and this is what is ingrained in you, you're there. You don't have that exposure to white people. You come to the other side, come to Europe and meet whites. The first thing in your mind is that, well, damn, this is somebody who is godlike. They're made in the image of God more than I am.
Yep.
And I haven't had an opportunity to even interact with them, let alone date them. So I have this chance now. Let me go ahead and be with them because it pushes me closer to God and my religion and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and be with them. And then you also get the chance to procreate with them. Yes,
and you're getting closer to God because your children are fair skinned and the hair is curly.
That's not why I want to have That's not why I want to have an interracial child. And I really shouldn't be talking about this because I just started having a conversation with somebody who might help me down the road too.
And she is far from white.
She's very.
I mean, she's on the other side.
But that's my view on that. She is darker than me, and I appreciate that.
Can't wait to see it.
I appreciate.
No,
I can't wait to see the.
No,
comments.
also I really time out. I appreciate you saying what you said because it needs to be said about being closer to divineness and like the struggle of understanding like the layers of white supremacy and colonization and how it affects black people. And while we're not from the motherland, I believe that to be true for black people here. Black people, African Americans, males especially, have they have like this disposition to be attracted to racially ambiguous women. They love Zaya looking ass women. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's corny to me because all of these dudes' moms look just like them. Dark, coarse, loud. And it just rubs me the wrong way.
And you know what's crazy? Were you gonna jump in?
No.
Okay. You know what? When you said that just now, this is sad for me to say this, but I remember saying that I wanted you to get a girl who was loud and
dark,
coarse hair, dark skin.
I remember that conversation.
And that was not a compliment. It wasn't supposed to be in a positive way. It was more so, and I feel bad because
you were trying to insult him.
I was trying to insult him. I was using something that we should be proud of, a dark-skinned female with coarse hair and loud and being herself with her personality. I was using that as a negative thing towards you, that you will have that, like almost like a curse towards you, and I feel bad for saying that. Right. They are going to murder me in the comments. I'm okay with that, but I'm being real.
But you know what? You did a good job because my girlfriend is dark, her hair is coarse, and I absolutely love everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, and I like that, but it's
I can't wait till Zaya gets to talking. You should see her facial expression.
Go ahead. You know what?
Look, we're going to let you cook. We're going to let you. We need to know, seriously, on topic, how do you feel about being pro-black and dating a white person, marrying a white person, having biracial children because they're not fucking black? Cut that bullshit out. They're biracial.
First of all, As far as me being pro-black, I wouldn't consider myself pro-black.
Oh, I know you ain't all them white folks.
Okay. So that's why I say you can't really be pro-black and date a white person. I don't consider myself pro-black. I do definitely prioritize in my own way supporting black people first, but I don't necessarily consider myself pro-black.
Why
Number
though?
one, I'm obviously racially ambiguous. I'm not biracial in the sense that I have a black or a white parent. My mom was black, and to my knowledge, my father is just light-skinned black. So they probably are. My grandmother is Native American. They probably have, I mean, we're all mixed up, right? So as far as being pro-black, like I don't wake up every day thinking about what can I do to improve black people's lives. That's just
me.
not my
Leave it to
thing.
me.
Right. Okay. That is definitely your thing, and I appreciate that, but that's just not necessarily my thing. However, I think it's important I think it's important for people to understand that as a racially ambiguous person, it's very challenging to have to deal with not being black enough or not identifying with both sides, because you're forced to be in that position where it's like, well, am I black? Am I white? Am I this? Am I that? And you're being tugged and pulled. So even as a kid, I remember being called a white girl because most of the people in my family are darker skin tone. So I was judged and I wanted to be darker because I didn't want to be considered a white girl. It was very... I would say it was unhealthy. It was an unhealthy relationship that I had with my skin tone as a child. And I think it caused me to have a lot of issues. I think biracial children have a lot of issues because of that. Right. Because it's like, where do you fit? Where do you go? What box do you check? You know?
Right.
So no.
So let's turn it a little bit. When you talk about interracial dating, we actually hit on it when you were gone. Do you think that there's a difference in dating a white person and dating other minorities as far as like social, like being accepted within the black community? Because I mean, and I want to go as far out as like maybe an Asian person, because you can't say Caribbean people because they're black too. You know what I mean? They're just Spanish black or French black. Like we're talking Tibetan Indian. We're talking like a Mexican, like a Hispanic. Like culturally, do you think that is like the pro-blackness? Is there a difference in dating a white person and then dating another minority?
Yes, I think so. I think dating a white person, because again, we're looking at it as the point where you're dating the oppressor. So a lot of people, you just from the visuals, the optics, when you're walking by and you see a white person, a black man and a white woman walking by, it gets your attention right away.
For sure.
If you in the military, I'm used to saying that, but I'm also used to saying blacks and Asians, because we have a lot of commands that are in Asia and stuff like that. So a lot of military members go over there, find a wife there, all that good stuff. When I'm walking around the ship, when I'm hanging out, like I was at my command picnic 2 days ago, and I walked around, I saw the black dudes with their Asian girlfriends and wives and stuff, and it really I didn't stop for a second to even look at it twice. But when I saw a black dude and a white girl, I said, oh yeah, he really gave me that. From looking at him, walking around the ship and at work, he gave me that somebody who would date a white woman. Like, I stopped for a second. When I saw a black man or other women, I really just kind of glanced over and was like, okay, keep it moving.
So listen, I'm glad that you said that. Mm-hmm. So we're going to dial it back a little bit. Are you saying that there's a type of black person that dates a white person, and that's why they're not pro-black? I'm going to show you why they ain't pro-black. Keep going. Is there a type of black person that would date a white person?
I would say if I wasn't gay, I would probably date a white person. I'm the type of black person that would date a white person. But I would say this, as a gay man, I'm not attracted to white men. However, as a straight man back in my day, I was attracted to white women. I dated a white girl back in college. In undergrad, I had a white girlfriend.
Why do you think white women are attractive? Because they're not.
Well, this is gonna cause more issues. But there, and I used to talk to my brother. He also used to date white girls back in the day, and he told me, he said they're easier to deal with. They're there's not a lot of back and forth. Let me go ahead and give a compliment to a black woman.
You got the back pedal, baby. Please, got the back pedal.
Black women have backbones. They are strong. They are passionate. They voice their
Digging his
opinion.
grave.
Do you see how I did that just now?
Yes.
So all about dating. When I talked to my brother, and when I did the only white person did it, it was easier to. I used to get this girl's car. Her parents gave her a nice little Pontiac G6 back in the day. This is back in 2004 or 5-ish, and undergrad. And I used to drive that car for weeks, and she wouldn't even know what a car is, and not even question me. Now I ain't doing that to no sister. Now she would check me real quick and be at my house and get that car for me. So it's easier to from my brief experience and from talking to my brother who dated white women back in the day, it was easier to deal with a white woman than it was to deal with a black woman.
But what does that say about attractiveness? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I understand. I've come to understand the same thing from all of the coons. Black people who date white women. I'm still not attracted though. Like I don't want my life to be easy just because.
I don't think it's about attraction. Honestly, I don't think it's that much.
So you're saying it's more of a choice.
Yes, I don't think it's that. It's about attraction. I mean, even now, people make a joke and say, if you date if I date a white man, my credit score would be better and all this stuff like that. It's basically the privileges that comes with dating them, or what you get out of that.
I know a lot of black people with great credit scores.
I have great credit score, but I'm saying that those are jokes and stuff. But it's what comes with that and what you have to deal with.
So you think that dating a white woman, is a thing of status?
Because
you said it's what comes along with it.
But I also told you, let me tie this back into me being an African man. The status part and the part about we see ourselves now as closer to God. That's also a status on our religious side. I'm dating a white person. This person is made in the image of God, so that means I'm closer to God, and I'm procreating somebody who's also in the image of God. That's some form of status right there. Yes, it's what
But that was taught.
Right.
Like that was taught to you because like, as far as I know, like Christianity might be big, but that's not the only, you got
I understand.
multiple religions or,
Very true.
So, and none of them praise whiteness.
None of them praise. I don't even.
The only thing that praises whiteness is Christianity, as far as I can tell. As far as like Jesus is white and the pureness and things of that nature.
Well,
but when you go to other countries, it's gods, and goddesses. Then they look like the people who are praising them. So
sure.
White people coming in and teaching black people, quote unquote, about Christianity, so to speak. And that's what kind of created
and even to this day, it's sad because, but that still was taught to people, at least I'll speak from my country. That's still stuff that's taught to people from my country, that whites are still what you want to be with, who you want to be with, what is better. And it's very sad. So when we come here as Africans, people from our country, I don't want to speak about the whole continent, but men from our country tend to want to date women that they have no access to. I feel like this the thought process. We didn't have access to you. We couldn't date you. You were above us and all this stuff. Now you're walking around and I can, whistle at you or, come over and talk to you.
Okay, Emmett Till.
Okay,
Emmett Till.
And come over and talk to you, and I have that chance now.
So it's because it's something that you felt you couldn't have.
Yes,
so now
you were denied of
and
that
because of privilege. And
it's a trophy.
Yeah,
white women
really
are trophies.
It really is. It really is.
That's so
and my mom, I hope she never watches this, but she's so wrong for this. I remember my brother took his girlfriend years ago. She was a white girl. Took her home, and my mom she's pro-black. She took this girl's food. I don't even know why I brought this story up, but she took this girl's food and sat it by the door and was like, let her know her food's out the door, treating her like a dog. And I was like, oh no, this is so wrong. And my dad just sat there and was laughed. I think I told you a story before. Laughed about it, and But we was over there like, why are you doing this? These are the people who are supposed to be better than us. They're the shit. Why are you treating her like that? Like it's different. Really, it's different.
So now that we've kind of like talked about the relationship, let's progress forward until like now that it's a union. Let's talk about the kids, right? Okay. This is something that Zaya brought up in our meeting earlier. Do you think that there's a difference between being raised by a black woman in an interracial relationship as opposed to being raised by a white woman?
Absolutely. I think that's what I'm referring to when I say like some of the issues that can come up as far as identifying, because most biracial children, not all, but most of them will look, tanner. They'll have brown skin.
Right.
So this is the thing that gets me, right? Okay, so it's like some people say they want to have mixed children because it makes them more attractive.
For sure.
Like, but what features are we talking about are the more attractive features, right? So that's my question as far as Will, because Will, you brought that up too. But I do know plenty of, mixed or biracial people who have been raised by white women, and they're totally messed up as far as I can tell, because like it's like, well, they never really like, okay, my dad is black, but my mom is white, and they're considered black. So they most people see them as black. They don't be like, oh, you look a little ambiguous, or you look a little mixed, and that's more common now. Right. But you're never really considered white. You're mostly considered black. Even though you may be considered mixed, you're mostly considered black. But being raised by a white woman with white, if you're mostly like, if say your dad is not around, so you're mostly around white people, so you're being looked at differently. Your hair is different. She doesn't know how to deal with your hair. She doesn't know how to really give you any type of identity. And so you're kind of like lost in the sauce trying to figure it out. And you're trying to be more white, but you can't fit into the white box because you don't look white. And you really can't fit into the black box because you're not really having an opportunity to participate amongst the black people, especially if there's a separation of the parents. That's why I think it's like not necessarily a good thing. You know what I mean? And then you're just torn, because I know being teased about having good hair, or thinking you're cute because you have good hair, or thinking you're this or thinking that, and being fought, like having to physically fight. Every school that I've ever had to go to, I had to fight because I was being teased so badly about thinking that I think a certain way, when I was really like up here, like, what the fuck? Just messed up.
Right.
So no, I don't think it's healthy for a black child to be raised by a white person. It doesn't give them a good foundation of being able to identify with their culture.
So you're more on the pro-black side, and I agree with you. Like I really do. But again, the child is biracial. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And so like,
but there's a big difference. If it's being raised by a black woman and they probably look more like a black person, like if the child looks more black, like, because I mean, a mixed person is going to look, most of them don't look white. There are some anomalies where you're like, white passing. Yeah.
Right. What's his name? Logic.
Not
Logic looks
but
white.
If you look like a black person and you're being raised by a black woman, I don't think you struggle as much, because you have this white person and you like, you say things like, oh, that's white people shit. You know what I'm saying? Like most white people won't say this in a setting with black people, like, oh, black. Okay, I'll give you an example. My cousin he's a pro skater, and we went to an event in Orlando, and there was a guy who was at the table. We were all having dinner. This is after the event, and he looked very white to me. And he was like, because we were late, and he was like, oh, black people, da 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 da. And I cut my eyes. My cousin was like, no, his dad's black. And I'm like, let me see a picture. Because this nigga looked white as fuck, and he kept saying shit that was pissing me off. And like, I'm trying to enjoy my wine, but he keeps saying shit that's making me like, I don't give a fuck. You look white.
Right.
Stop with the white. Stop with the black shit. You don't look black. You look white, and it's thrown me off.
Right.
So so that's why I think it makes a big difference as far as like how you're able to identify as far as the mothering, because the mothers are the ones who typically do most of the raising. The fathers are there, to provide and protect, and they're there and they're supporting the discipline and things of that nature. And I mean, that's just if you subscribe to that. But for the most part, the mothers breastfeed, they're mothering, they're teaching, they're the ones that are there most of the time. So having a white woman, I think, will make a difference for a biracial child as far as like their choices, whether or not they're like, do I think white people are more attractive? Do I think black people are more attractive? That kind of thing.
Okay. How do you feel about that? You and your ridiculous opinions
I'll be honest,
on everything.
I've said enough for today, but I will say this. I agree with you. Do I want a biracial kid? If I had to pick, yes. Go ahead.
No.
Do I want my child to be I was raised by a black mother, so I know what was put into me. Do I want my child to be raised by a black mother? Yes. I know it's confusing.
How does that work? How does that work?
I don't know how it works yet, and that's probably why I don't have a child. And that's probably why I'm gay. It makes life easier for me.
See,
but
this is what I'm talking about. The colonization. Like, you need to unlearn a lot of things. Like, you still enjoy the idea of fair skin. Fair skin is very enjoyable for you, and I need you to stop that shit. You need to stop it.
It's true. I want my child to
look like somebody else?
No, I want my child.
You do.
I want my child to enjoy the privileges that you get.
First of all, what privileges do you think I get? Please,
light skin. If we're being honest, yes, I want my child to get the privileges that you get.
Tell me about my privileges, please, sir.
Are you saying that you don't? Are you saying that you don't get any?
Now, ma'am, you know you have privileges. Can we at least say that? Don't get thrown out the chair now. You were doing good.
A lot of privileges
like
given to you.
I'm asking you, like, what y'all making these fucking faces? Like, what?
This is not.
What privileges do I have?
Attractive.
I mean, this pretty.
So hold on, because my girlfriend is kind of more in her vein, right? My girlfriend is, her mother's black, her father is a white Italian man. She's got the curly hair, the fair skin. She's even told me to my face, she's universally pretty.
Yes,
and I couldn't argue it because no matter where she goes, people are gonna. That is a privilege.
Yes,
it is. You get to go into certain spaces, and people are gonna treat you differently based on this universal acceptance.
Don't let her downplay it. I'm sure she knows exactly.
And I'm still. Never mind. I'm co-host. Sorry.
Go ahead. I want you.
No, I asked the question. What privilege do you think? Okay, you saying is universally pretty. Okay.
Okay.
These are facts.
You said what? Universally pretty. You think it's the same thing? Is that what you're rolling with that answer? The universally
That's not the only answer. That is
so I can actually detail that. So because blackness is always on trial. Because when I listen to hip hop music, nobody ever talks about dark-skinned women. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. They drag dark-skinned women and they elevate racially ambiguous women. Privilege number one. Number two, up until about 5 years ago, dark-skinned women outside, everybody thought Whoopi Goldberg was disgustingly ugly.
Okay.
Up until, and so dark-skinned people are just starting to get roles. And you see black women in stampeding to support these women because they understand.
Very true.
We could take it back to slavery. All of it started from slavery.
Do you think that as a light-skinned person, I enjoyed slavery?
I'm saying if we were in slavery right now.
People during slavery, yes, I would have been in the fucking house.
Yes.
I get that. But do you think that I enjoyed being in the fucking house, being fucked and being screwed and being like still treated like shit, even more so because I'm right next to Massa? Right.
So the point is you had
and beat by his wife.
The point is you got air conditioning. You got air conditioning. You ate good food. You know what I'm saying?
Food, you think so?
And look, you ate good food and all the good stuff that comes along with it. Stop trying to act like
what I'm trying to say is that yes, I'm not saying that there isn't some privilege with having light skin. I'm not saying there isn't privilege with light skin tones, right? Mm-hmm. That's part of the racism. Okay, that's part of racism. So we get that. But that's what I'm saying. It's twofold. It's like a double-edged sword because there's also I couldn't come come out in the field and fucking hang out with my people because I'm not dark enough, because you're looking at me like I have this extra privilege when I'm getting it from both sides.
You are. I'm sorry.
So that's not a fucking privilege. That's a disadvantage.
I don't disagree with it. And that's something that I personally struggle with. I tear your ass up whenever. I keep the light skin jokes going. I tell you got the light skin attitude. I pile it on. I pile it on purposefully. But it isn't right. And I can publicly say it isn't right. Because we're perpetuating a cycle that they did that on purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To create the friction between our community. You know what I mean? And it ain't right. And I don't think it's something that I want to give up just yet. Because I know. That's the
point I'm trying to make as far as why. That was why I said it's not a build.
Right.
Because for this group, for us, quote unquote, the group, we are getting it from both sides.
Right.
Like how do you identify? What do you consider yourself? Who are you more for? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like you're fucking being pulled and tugged. I don't have to look at you and be like, well, how do you identify? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And also another thing is it's just a black and white thing, because if you got an Italian person that gets with another European person, like from somewhere else, like nobody is thinking about it like that. It's always based on
color.
The color of your skin, or the way the texture of your hair, or what your parents look like, or how you were raised. I think all of that plays into a part. But that's where I'm saying that the mental health part comes in, because it really causes you to struggle with who you are and who you can feel connected to.
All right, so white passing.
So white passing has a lot to do with avoiding some of the confusion, or not the confusion, avoiding some of the issues that black people were dealing with. That's why light-skinned people who could pass as white people did it. It was because, okay, I'm white enough, I look white enough not to have to be, mistreated. I don't have to, go through the back door. I can go. I mean, what the fuck is your face for? I'm saying that's the point.
Privilege.
It was created. You think
Privilege.
white passing is a privilege?
Privilege.
You don't think it has
I can't
deep
just,
down inside?
I can't just
a
turn
person
my
that's white
skin.
passing, I've never white passed. I don't look white.
Right.
Okay. But I'm saying, if I'm looking at a person who's white passing, there's got to be some conflict, some
For
serious
sure.
conflict within them. So I think white passing is fucked up, because at the end of the day, if you're something else and you're going by something else to avoid conflict, mentally you're not doing well up here.
Right. But
you can't be.
But socially, isn't that what people do because they don't like friction in general?
Yes.
That's why dark-skinned people date white people or light-skinned people, because they...
So that children can have less friction, but it causes more. It causes more, especially when the divorce rate for interracial couples is higher than the average divorce rate, period. Yes.
Well, I learned something today.
Yes.
I just learned something.
So there's a reason why you shouldn't date interracial people, because you're more likely to get...
So get a divorce.
So when there's a separation, it's like, okay, where do the children go? Then how do they mix with the families, and how are they treated by family members who are fucking racist? Because a lot of them are racist.
Very true.
So how do you deal with that with these children? And then even in countries where, say that when they had wars and you went over to Vietnam, you had these children that were completely abandoned because they couldn't be brought back here, and they had no place there.
Yep.
So you're just left to figure out what to do.
Right.
Right.
It's happening in Africa right now with the Chinese. They're coming in and...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're coming in and making children and leaving them wherever. It's ridiculous. This was healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was healthy, but
why not? The comment section.
So your biggest thing with having a mixed race child was for privilege purposes.
I want my yes. Listen, I'm gonna say one last thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and give my forgiveness speech so they can forgive me in the comments. But I'm gonna say this, and I'll just be myself. I'll be completely honest. I want a mixed child because, one, I want the privilege for my kid, and two, I want my child to look a certain way. I don't want to risk my child.
Will, do you think that you're not you are
I mean, I look good. Don't get me confused. I look good as hell.
Okay, so you would want a child to look like your child to look like you?
I mean, I don't know the science behind it, but I feel like if I had a child with you, versus me having a child with,
don't say it.
yes, that child will look different. And even, let's be honest, even if that child, if you take the color off that child, and that same child I had with you versus a child I have with dark-skinned female, if you take the skin tone off and make that child is dark-skinned, the child I have with you might not look as attractive as the one I have that, but because of that color, this is just how it is.
Bro, that is self-hate.
I know,
if that ain't self-hate, I don't know what that is. That is self-hate.
This is things. These are. It's not
like,
self-hating.
I really appreciate you being honest.
I'm right, for sure.
And listen,
but I really should not be dishonest because
you
then
should.
I would get dragged.
Oh, you gonna get dragged?
Because one, coming here, my fiance was like, I was like, how do you feel about interracial dating? He said, in some sense, I feel like I'm dating a white man, bro. Like first of all, hold up real quick, because that is disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
But I'm just being honest. These are things that, and this is, this conversation has taught me that I'm still not removed from me being from Africa. The things that were taught to us in Africa.
For sure.
I'm still connected. I've been in the States for 18, 19 years. Mm-hmm. And I've went through this identity crisis with me going to an all-black school and then going to a white college for undergrad, grad school, all that stuff like that, and figuring myself out, saying that, okay, I like the white side. And then I moved towards the black side after I met people like Flood came around in my life, and he and other people were able to kind of make me understand, appreciate being black. Mm-hmm. But this right here was a reality check that there are still things that I need to work on.
I appreciate
need to understand.
I appreciate you actually vocalizing that.
Yeah, because I'm saying things like, I want my child to look a certain way. Like, well, damn, my mom is fair skinned. So, but there's still things there that I thought I was gone from, mm-hmm. and it's still there. Mm-hmm. And I'm just being honest. No. So when you decide to drag me in the comments, just know that I'm working on me.
You're a work in progress.
I'm a work in progress. I'll get there soon.
All right, so listen, let's wrap this thing up. I got a breaker bill for you guys.
Okay, cool.
And Kadeem, you have to participate.
All right.
Breaker bill.
Breaker bill. Bill Cosby.
Oh boy.
Wow.
That rubbed me the wrong way. Go ahead.
Breaker Bill.
Breaker Bill. What you mean?
Break.
I want to know his existence from 0 to 88. Is it a breaker bill for the black community?
It is a break. He put this picture. People say, he made it seem like a black family was great. All this extra stuff. This man was and why y'all? Hold on, real quick.
Let him finish.
When you guys I just want you guys to know, when you guys are over here supporting this black man out of jail for things that he did, just so you know, the victims in your lives, your family members who are victims, are watching you support a man who raped women for years. I just want you to know that. Okay, yeah. He broke the black community. That's all I got to say.
Breaker Bill, Zaya.
I loved Bill back in the day.
I
wanted to be a lawyer because of the Bill Cosby show.
Listen.
It was horrible, but you know what? He admitted to violating women, and I can't say that's a build for black people.
So it's a break for you?
It's a break for me.
Kadeem.
I can't mess with nobody that does those types of things. I also echo the sentiments of seeing a black family successful on TV was good for us. Mm-hmm. But if I had a friend, fuck Bill Cosby. If it was a friend of mine and he did something like that, I'm not fucking with you. I can't.
Yeah, that's just.
I have a daughter. I have women in my life.
And I was definitely, and I definitely can't go there because I was definitely a victim of sexual abuse for many years. So
before you say your piece on that, let me just say this, because a lot of black folks don't understand what happened the last couple of days. So this is what happened. So he admitted to another persecutor that the persecutor told him that we're not going to charge you, but we want you to admit in a deposition what you did wrong. He admitted everything he did wrong. He drugged women. He raped women. He admitted everything. That persecutor did not charge him. He was under the the assumption that he wasn't going to get charged. Another prosecutor from a different area, a different district, took that confession and used that to charge him. So yes, he still committed those crimes. People were saying that, the judge said he didn't commit the crime. No, the judge said that he was told that he wasn't going to be charged for those crimes that he admitted to. Just that another prosecutor went ahead and took those tapes that he recorded in the deposition and used that to charge him in a different area. That's what it is. So when you guys are out there, just make sure you know what's going on. Go ahead, Flip.
Ooh, wee.
Please don't say it built anything.
Oh, man.
I've never seen this.
Look, guys.
He is speechless.
Listen,
Ooh.
Bill Cosby is a build for me, man.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Why?
How? Because of everything else that he established.
Listen, man, like
Can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
you know how the relation. Let me finish.
Okay.
You know the relationship that I have with my dad.
Yes.
A part of my raising was like he had like. My dad is super pro-black, and I remember him sending me clips of all the things that I am passionate about now. Bill Cosby was saying during the civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to liberation as a black collective, I understand it takes tons and tons of money. You can't name 10 people who's donated more money to black people than Bill Cosby, HBCU specifically. Over $30 million. Spelman. Morehouse.
I mean, do you think that was his conscience?
Maybe.
Maybe that was his way
So,
of
but
trying
also-
to erase
say
all
the
that
guilty
shit
give
he
the
was
most.
doing.
Right. And so, like,
You
I'm
know?
not trying to absolve him. He's a rapist. He's horrible for that. But when I look at the totality of what he's contributed to black people, from inspiring like that black family when it was never something like that in existence ever, and black people got that, the money, the contributions as a track and field athlete. I saw this man and shook this man's hand at Penn Relays, and he's pretty much responsible for the largest track and field platform in the world. White people don't go to fucking Penn Relays.
Yes, they do. I go to Penn Relays, and white people go to Penn Relays. Stop playing that. But you know what? I will say this. Let me ask you this, though. And this is going to kind of parallel. Okay. Would it be different if it was a white man who was doing all these things for black people, but say he didn't like rape or anything, but he did all these things for black people?
And
like,
then he raped a black woman?
no, he didn't rape anybody. He didn't do anything.
Okay.
But he contributed to the black, 30 million, whatever. Let's say he did everything that Bill Cosby did as a white man, but he didn't rape people. Would you give him the same? No. Like, would you give him? Exactly. Right. So it's based on the fact that because he's black.
Black man.
You're saying like, it's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay.
Oh.
No, it's
Hey,
not okay.
it's
like,
not okay.
And so, like, it's very personal for me because, I operate a gym
Yes.
with majority women, and like they were like to see the pain because they have been victims of that kind of stuff. And I'm just getting really old and soft in my old age, man.
Yes.
Like, and to see that, but like,
Are you still sticking with build?
don't put pressure on me. Okay?
We want to know that.
I'm shocked at you, bro.
You shocked at me?
It's not a build. I feel you, but
Yeah, I can't roll with you on that
Not
one.
on
But
there.
you my
embarrassed.
dog.
You embarrassed? Oh my God.
I'm glad. This might get the pressure off me.
Yes,
Right.
this
I
might
think
this
right.
might help
might get
you
a pressure
out.
And I mean, this is what this platform is for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stand by what I said. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't.
So
I
you're
ain't,
still building.
Can you stop?
Okay.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Let's end with
Look,
that.
look. I said what I said.
Let's end with that.
Right.
Because that's what's going to stick in people's minds.
Look, you can get it all off
Yeah.
me. Look,
Wow,
man.
that's crazy, though.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe, reshare.
Yes,
Big
comment.
shout out to Kadeem on the Phantom hosting.
yo,
Just another media company. The Friction Podcast. Make sure you look at episode 3. Make sure you look at episode 2.
Yes, go
We're
back,
growing,
watch.
and we appreciate you guys. And I think that's good. Y'all got anything?
No, just
good.
one last word.
I'm glad you're back,
still
William.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate it. It's nice to be back. I'm glad we know that you're ending with Bill Cosby.
No, but
That's all I gotta say.
one last thing, and I know we're supposed to kind of end there, but do you guys feel differently about July 4th? Because this is July 4th weekend now that Juneteenth has been like a federal. I know you're not festive.
okay.
I know you are,
I don't
though.
give a fuck.
Do you feel differently about July 4th?
No, I'm not one of those black people who was like, I didn't even know about Juneteenth until probably 2-3 years ago. I'll be honest.
Right, because you're African.
Well, but I wasn't one of the people who were, hoping for it to happen. And when it happened, black folks was like, we asked for this, and you guys give us Juneteenth. They weren't happy again, like always. But, so listen, it doesn't matter.
Terrible.
I don't care that much about it. I'm still cool with July 4th.
Cut it out, man. We don't need you to help him.
Sometimes he's right. He's not wrong.
I'm okay with July 4th. I'm still celebrate.
Well,
we don't fuck with July 4th over here
Right.
because I'm pretty sure we weren't free.
at all.
For sure.